And remember guys, you can go on the chat and ask any questions that you have at any time. So that's a little feature there.
How's my screen look? Let me actually hold on to this one.
Not good.
So let me. Okay. Can you see my screen? No? Okay, let me stop sharing. So let me just do entire screen. Okay, can you see my screen now? Okay. Let's start recording and stop. Okay, so I'll start. That's fine. All right, so from the beginning, slideshow. All right, so good morning, everybody. Happy hump day. Hope everyone had a great long weekend. I don't know if the Regis Bank is off on President's Day. Bank of the West is. So I'm sure most people had a great holiday. Also, my President's Day is going to be the future of Agile and digital disruption. So kind of what we talked about, lifelong 49ers fan, former arena semi-pro football player, two-time California State University East Bay alumni. So I got my bachelor's, my master's from 2014 and 2017 respectively. Currently pursuing my professional certificate in future technology at UC Berkeley Executive Education. I'm a certified PMP, Safe for Agilist, CBAP, CSPO, CSM, Six Sigma Black Belt, Green Belt, as Diane basically articulated. And outside of that, I work primarily in the healthcare space with United Health Group, Kaiser, Sutter, Stanford Hospital Clinics, and Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. I've also worked for Walgreens the retail side, most recently and currently Bank of the West. My current title is Senior Lead Business Analyst and Scrum Master as a hybrid. So what Bing search says. You search me on Bing, you have to actually find me by my acronyms because my name is surprisingly common. So you gotta search it, and then with all the acronyms. And as indicated in the search, I'm a hybrid Scrum Master BA VP, as also indicated on the first slide, for the bank. And I've also spoken at the ALFISIG chapter in July and August on navigating through hybrid frameworks, which I spoke out about during my last presentation with Group Futurista, the future digital sales revenue intelligence in September and November of last year. So you can see actually to Diana's point, when I spoke last August and July, those agendas. Most importantly about me, I've received many awards from various organizations, and such as this one right here, the Barrier Breaker Award from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois, now otherwise known as HCSC in 2018. Yes? What? Sorry? Okay. And which means most importantly, I am a digital agile disruptor. So embracing agile and digital transformation, end-user enterprise companies that want to be successful with their digital transformations must improve how they deliver their applications and services faster, better, and safely. Enterprise agility gives IT and business a golden opportunity to succeed together. And these first couple slides, they're going to be from this article from Forrester, which was written 5 years ago. State of Agile as a complementary Forrester report. And I'll go and send this deck out to Diana to circulate with you guys after the presentation is over. Success in modern delivery means success in digital. So no matter which industry you belong to, financial services, insurance, retail, healthcare, manufacturing, government, digital transformation should most likely be on your executive board and CEO strategic agendas. The software, package, or custom built that you deliver makes your journey of digital transformation successful. That means you have to be excellent at delivering application software fast enough with quality and meet compliance. And again, from the same article, Forrester. The importance of digital and what it has to do with Agile. But why is digital so important? Because it is, and it will be for the next 10 to 15 years. The best way to serve your business partners and customers is winning new ones while keeping the ones you currently have through digital. And what does it have to do with Agile? Well, that's what Agile is all about, right? Putting your customers and users at the center, delivering for them the right things right. And for organizations on the digital journey, it's customer experience that matters. And by improving it, Forrester has proven the revenue growth. That's why Agile is on every CIO's agenda, despite the struggle many have in adopting it and scaling it to the enterprise. So the current state of Agile adoption, digital transformative enterprises. For these reasons, leading organizations are moving away from being perfect and becoming faster by contaminating waterfall with Agile. They simplify bureaucracy, write linear requirements, make plans more flexible, focus on smaller and more manageable releases. Despite all the enthusiasm around Agile, though, cultural change based on lean principles, as we believe is shown in Forrester, is their top challenge. And the good news for enterprises is that research also shows that Agile is no longer only for ISVs, which an ISV actually stands for independent software vendors or digitally native born unicorns. So they can be more agile than brick and mortars, but most enterprises are trying to get there too. And in 2017, almost 40% of independent software vendors claimed to have more than 75% of their teams working Agile versus 24% of the enterprises. Agile at scale is an opportunity for large enterprises. Program portfolio managers must continue to support their business partners to build fast-paced, integrated, and continuous planning and delivery cycles. Product-level Agile planning maturity continues to grow, but organizations have yet to clearly link product outcomes to business strategy on one side, and also link product engineering work and progress made to business value. Constant changes force executives to recognize that traditional planning and delivery practices don't sustain the ability to focus on strategy while delivering new capabilities. And to adapt to an environment where change is the new normal, project management office PMO leaders like us and solution delivery leaders are expanding Agile methods. However, scaling Agile to the enterprise requires significant process, organizational, and cultural change. So now we're going to talk about the most recent report from last year, adopting Agile and DevOps to drive digital success for business. And I'm just going to give you the overview, the executive overview. Every business is now a digital business. Companies are scrambling to respond to consumers' higher expectations and enable competitors. Application development delivery organizations, AD&D, are leading this response, transforming their processes. So again, same report, but from last year, Forrester. I guess not the same report, new report, but same kind of topic, right? Agile and DevOps and to drive digital business success in 2021. And my perspectives. So I've led 4 different digital initiative-driven organizations through their respective Agile transformations. And so I've obviously gathered a variety of perspectives on both digital disruption and Agile as a preferred framework of choice for said organizations, right? So it's important to note that each organization will vary in their approach to strategy and vary in how they wish to implement said digital capabilities across the enterprise. So the next 6 slides will cover my perspectives leading 3 organizations as a product owner, product manager, and IT strategist, respectively. So organization 1. I was a product owner for an organization which was leading a mobile bill pay initiative similar to Wells Fargo Bill Pay and Amazon.com's customizable payment dashboard. The respective segment, which was known at the time as Consumer Financial Digital Services, were fixated on ensuring we delivered both a seamless experience to our customer and improve internal employee experience. But however, the organization was running the initiative under Waterfall, which doesn't involve continuous customer feedback on the product. So thus the org chose to employ Scrum Alliance certify all the soon-to-be Agile practitioners as champions of the Scrum framework around mid-year, which was post-quarter 2. The outcomes. The result was that 20-plus professionals, myself included, were able to leverage the trainings and perform an honest Agile maturity assessment against the organizational capabilities from a value stream and release train level. Furthermore, as a result of that maturity assessment, the Agile community of practice decided to not roll out the transformation full scale, rather iteratively roll it out while deploying the bill pay product under the Waterfall hybrid framework, which I spoke about during my last presentation in August with this chapter. I received my CSPO, my Certified Scrum Product Certificate. However, my title didn't formally transition from BA to PO until conclusion of fiscal year end. So that year, FYE. Organization 2 situation, right? So Organization 2 was also focused on another digital virtual initiative, which was, I guess you could say, primarily facing internal users for financial information, so such as the year-to-date balance and other types of key personal identifiers, financial identifiers. The organization was a lot more mature in their Agile framework maturity model and had a established community practices. I guess the established community practice, COP for best practices. And my title with this organization was product manager. And so essentially the actual product itself was a Salesforce CPQ instance. That was our backend for pricing, enrollments, and bill payload to conjoin the digital front end user interface. While the organization was mature and agile, my team actually wasn't. They were fresh out of college. So the outcomes. The Agile community practice was advanced for this organization, and the objectives of rolling out the solution was aggressive. However, the team had to come up to speed on the Agile framework while learning the digital capabilities we were delivering. So this entailed marrying themselves to burn rate, storage delivered versus committed, carry over, sprint over sprint. So these are typical sprint metrics you get out of the box Jira. By the 3rd month, the team had remarkably matured in their Scrum Agile knowledge and practice, and the solution was able to be delivered in a timely fashion and we were able to define our own KPIs for success. So business value delivered was an example of one. And the Salesforce digital solution, which we were initially targeting for delivery of Q4 that year, was a huge success for new customer onboarding in Q4 of that year. So pretty successful. Organization 3. So Organization 3 was more focused on actual strategy as opposed to actually delivery for both digital and agile. But my title with this organization was IT strategy consultant and IT strategist, although there were elements of product management, scrum mastership, and project management within my actual responsibilities. So the main objectives for each strategic area of the IT organization were defined by the CIOs, L2s, and the VP of application delivery management, as well as the VP of digital channels, who both defined their own success metrics, baselines, and targets. So we relied heavily on Forrester and Gartner reports. So as indicated in the first few slides, that's why I had to bring those back to surface, because during this time I had to read through those every single day. And to basically the intent of using those reports were to make informed decisions when collaborating with SVPs on their respective digital metrics and their baselines and how they're performing. So the outcomes, the strategic metrics for application delivery management were epics delivered versus committed, story points delivered versus committed, and velocity. The key strategic metrics for our digital channels, however, were APIs delivered. So this actually encompassed APIs stood up, but weren't fully functional yet. So by the end of Q3, there were roughly 200 epics delivered versus committed, or I guess 100 versus 120 delivered versus committed, 660 points delivered versus 700 committed, and aggregate velocity of 50 points per sprint. And for digital, roughly 13 APIs were stood up, of which 11 were fully functional and integrated. So very, very successful metrics to kind of show the progress from both the delivery side, which we're focused with, as well as the actual APIs that they were actually focusing on delivering. So what I learned, depending on organizations' ability to adopt Agile and Scrum, and depending on whether the initiative and my role serving is strategically or delivery focused in nature, the success can either be dependent or completely independent on my contributions and abilities. An example of Organization 3, my role was largely serving the L2s of the CIO opposed to operating at the team level to drive success of the Agile maturity and delivery. Rather, my role was to work with the L2s to define the strategic success of their respective areas. And most importantly, the success of a digital transformative initiative and or platform is largely enabled by Agile. Organization 1 didn't see any real-time success in Q2 of the following year until Q2 of the following year, until they'd actually basically fully rolled out their Agile framework. Whereas Organization 2 saw immediate real-time success with the Salesforce initiative with their matured Agile delivery framework. So obviously the maturity of the organizations can basically really determine the impact and the success of what they're trying to deliver. So the Agile stability ecosystem. Agile stability in response to digital disruption. Organizations who have employed Agile have a larger probability of sustained success post-deployment than those who try to roll out in traditional waterfall. Hybrid frameworks are definitely an option. However, the largest chance of sustainability in a volatile environment is through a matured Agile deployment model or framework. Speed and stability. So speed is how quickly your organization can respond and adapt to change. Moreover, how nimble your organization can be when delivering is a success criteria for deployment of digital initiative through Agile. Stability, the existing footprint your organization has in the marketplace, is also an important factor for the organization's sustainability post-deployment of any digital initiative. So in all the examples I provided, all three organizations had different levels of speed and stability, which is why they experienced different outcomes. So in closing, as more organizations continue to respond to digital disruption, Agile will continue to permeate throughout the industry and the marketplace and will serve as a reference framework for delivery of all said digital initiatives. So this has inspired organizations such as PMI to develop Agile certifications of their own, PMI, ACP, and more, right? Scale Agile has also rolled out new certifications for Safe Agile. So Advanced PO, Safe 5.0, etc., right? And the key to achieving a successful digital deployment, and from my experience, is to be adaptable. And most importantly, remember, you control technology. Technology does not control you. And that's it. I mean, it's a term. You know what I mean? It's not really. I mean, that's how Forrester classifies independent software vendors, right? Whoever were implemented or kind of mature in their agile framework, right? That was again that article's 5 years old, right? So how they refer to them now could differ. So, but that's what they refer to them as, because back then, obviously, the industry was still catching up, with agile, right? So they saw these ISVs who were completely robust and mature, like as unicorns. Like, oh my god, they got it, right? Now almost everyone else, maturity has definitely caught up, to the industry. So they may have a different term now. They may not be unicorns. It may just be kind of the standard. So right, right. Absolutely, absolutely, it definitely does. Thank you. I don't. That's a no. That's a great question, Diane. I mean, I don't know if it's an official term, right? Because differing organizations with their different levels of maturity, they may say that, oh, we're not fully agile yet, instead of saying we're hybrid, or instead of saying we're adopting, we're not, we're still adopting agile, right? We're still maturing, all right? So it's still some organizations who prefer to call it hybrid, they'll use the term hybrid, right? Some organizations may not. So I don't think it is a standard. To answer your question, I think it's just depending on the organization. So yeah, fragile, right? Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's a good point, because I think, obviously different, the whole point of agile is collaboration, right? And so I don't know, when the pandemic started, I did notice some immediate challenges, right? Kind of, with the lack of people being in a room to do whiteboarding, to do, PI planning, to do kind of other types of commitment ceremonies, but I think as we've kind of progressed through for the past 2 years, I think now, it's kind of I feel like agile is kind of, I want to say I want to say kind of molded, or kind of just kind of softened, to the remote kind of working model, in the sense that, now there's different collaboration tools that, that we use, right? There's Obea, right, for whiteboarding. There's other types of tools that people can use within WebEx. There's different ways that you can kind of have the same level of interaction, collaboration, remote working. And you're right. I mean, we're talking about agile, we're talking about digital disruption, but hey, remote working has been definitely disruptive to the traditional agile kind of model, right? And yeah, I definitely have seen, I've seen it from both sides, to answer your question, right? I've seen good and bad with, yeah. So Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah, I mean, but yeah, I mean, to that point though, I do think there's also, I mean, there's the flip side to that, right? I agree with you. Kind of, ultimately, I do think that, the in-person in office interaction and collaboration was definitely paramount to help kind of pushing that needle forward. But I also think that, yeah, what I've seen, again, depending on organizations, some of them have been able to actually adopt Agile faster, with the remote working model. Because, for example, some organizations, I'm sure, same thing with regions, right? A lot of people, we're not co-located. Teams are distributed. Dev can be in one state, you can be in another state, the product owner can be wherever, right? And essentially, with that, if everyone had to be at the office and coordinate their times, like, okay, crap, right? What are we supposed to do? But now, obviously, with remote working, it's easier to facilitate, collaborate, and you can see. And me personally, I've seen actually some improvement, across the board in sprint metrics, straight out of the box Jira. Stories being delivered, and committed. Reduce carryover, sprint velocity or team velocity metrics, sprint over sprint. So it goes both ways. It really does. So yeah, yeah, right. Absolutely. No, and I think that's an important point because obviously, the whole kind of mantra of, oh, we want to see everyone's faces, smiling faces. I mean, something that some of the delivery leads in my organization try to push forward, but at the same time, I mean, like as long as you're able to get the insights, and be able to get the feedback, that that that's the essence of agile. That's the essence. And to both to your point, Deborah, and obviously Diane, what you kind of echoed, a good COE and a good COP, which is kind of what I also observed. If you guys saw in my presentation, a mature COP to govern the practices and the delivery of your framework is paramount. It's almost critical to make sure that everything, whether you're in office or whether you're remote, right? Because you need to have that governing body to have that checks and balances. It's a basic system of checks and balances to say, here we are, here's where we're not, or here's where we have to go. Okay, cool. We have that in my organization. I'm a member of it, right? So I'm basically able to kind of, help coach and guide, as needed. And essentially, I think that is also kind of, why we've seen so much success, kind of to my surprise as well, within our respective organization, for Agile adoption since the pandemic hit. So, mm, right, mm, right, right. Definitely. It really is. Yeah, no, totally agree. I mean, it's just, I mean, with the advances and kind of to my what I've observed, with different new emerging technologies, like such as IOBEA, other collaboration tools, outside of our traditional Cisco WebEx, Skype, Teams, right? It makes it so you're literally having the same experience remotely as you would in the office. For the whiteboarding, the confidence building, this, the T-shirt sizing, right? Everything. So it's pretty remarkable. As long as you're using it now, right? Better late than never. Yeah, right, right. Definitely. Yeah. By the way, it's actually Osif, not Asif. It's Osif like awesome. So just think awesome. You got it. Definitely. Thanks. Thanks everybody. Bye.